Good morning. It is a bright and sunny day in Mascot in Sydney, Australia, and I just wanted to show you what the sun is doing at the moment in April, which is going into our autumn. So daylight savings is ending this weekend, and we're going to go into autumn and then winter, or what passes for winter in Sydney, Australia. So you can see that I have plants in troughs along this long portion of the balcony, and I've also set up shade cloth here as a protection against the sun beaming in on the plants, because when I first moved into this apartment in November, all of my plants, which had been indoor plants, got burnt to a crisp. So they're all rehabbing at the moment and getting better. But this shade cloth here is going to protect them from the worst excesses of the hot Sydney sun. If we walk along, this is about 15 or 20 meters worth. And as you can see, I have lots of different plants here. What I did was, the plants that I had been selling in my previous apartment on Facebook Marketplace, I have stopped doing that, and I planted all of the little baby plants up in these troughs. I just couldn't be bothered doing Facebook Marketplace anymore. And so potted them up in here, and they will grow along and grow up and become healthy and hopefully spill out over the troughs, because the troughs themselves are not that good looking, although they're okay. They're unobtrusive and it looks neat and tidy, which is the thing that I really wanted to have happen on this balcony. You can see as we move towards the east side of the apartment that the sun is coming in, and is actually doing some damage to some of the plants that I have in this trough here. So you can see that they're getting a little bit burnt. My idea for this is mostly planted with alocasias, and some of them are doing better than others. You can see I've got a little dragon's breath. It was a baby dragon's breath growing there. I think the babies are probably going to do better than the bigger plants that I've planted, simply because the babies will acclimatize to having more sun, whereas the ones that I had in my other apartment were either on shaded balconies, completely shaded balconies, except for some afternoon sun because they were south facing, or else they were indoors. But we'll just see how these go. Nothing here is too precious. I mean, all my plants are precious, but nothing here is too rare or expensive. So I've purchased the new baby plants from Bunnings for $6 each. And some of the old ones are, as I said, the old plants that I had been selling on Facebook Marketplace. You can see they've grown some of them have grown quite big, but you can see there the sun damage that's happening with this. Is an Alocasia Green Shield. You can see the sun damage that's happening there. I'm going to leave them and see what happens. The soil mix, I've got these in. I will show you how I make that a bit later, but it's very different to the soil mix that I have for my indoor plants and that I had for my plants on my balcony in my other apartment. I've got cocoa shavings down the bottom, cocoa peat chips and things down the bottom, and then this is just your stock standard cheap Bunnings potting mix. I think it's now $4.95. It used to be $3.95 a big bag, which I'll show you as well. So I'll show you how I've got a couple more to plant up. So I'll show you how I am planting them, how I'm planting them up, and the soil mix that I'm using, and we'll just see how this works. An Aroid soil mix usually has a lot more amendments to it, but this one doesn't. So along here, I've got shade cloth up as well, and you can see now the sun. I'm going to burn your eyes a bit by scrolling up to the sun, which is very, very bright. Sorry about that, guys. But this also, as I turn the corner here, the temperature goes up about 5 or 10 degrees just turning the corner. I can feel it on my body. The temperature's really gone up. And as you can see, there is damage to some of these plants as well. This is getting a bit of dappled light now, rather than this is still getting full sun. But when I first moved in, I did not have this shade cloth, and all of these plants got burnt. And they dry out very quickly. These are actually little self-watering pods, and you can see the only green bit left on this time is that tiny bit there. The rest of it got fried. And then this is another thyme plant that similarly got fried. I'll cut them back and try and bring them back. Whatever was in there, I think it was a staghorn, that's completely fried. Snake plants are doing well. Lemongrass doesn't mind sun, that's doing well. But if we move along here, I wanted to show you the last little section that I have to put shade cloth up around the balcony is this section here. So this section, you can see, is messy, and this is where I am going to have all of my tools and pots and other things for the balcony and for the garden. So if we have a look here, we can see this was all neatly placed in a makeshift potting shed in my last apartment. And I will do something similar here, but for the moment what I'm going to do is I've got one shade cloth left, and I'm going to set it up along here, which will shade the plants here. You can see my ZZ plant has gotten, some of it's okay, but it's obviously getting sun stressed. You can see there, it's yellow. And this frond here has gone completely yellow. It looks like it's on its way out. The Tradescantia, which is usually a deep green color, I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a very light limey green now. And so this definitely needs some shade as well, so I will be doing that. These little pots, this is coriander here, and these are two just little pots of color that I've got. This one is hopefully going to reshoot it again. It was brilliant with riotous color. Oh, there we go. There's a little one there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a beautiful deep vermilion and pink color. And this one is obviously a rosemary plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out all of this stuff here, and I'm going to lay it out. I need to go through it all because when I moved I just packed everything into boxes and shipped it all out here. But now with the April long weekend coming up, I am going to be organizing this. First things first, clear out this balcony and then put up the shade cloth, and I'll show you how I put up the shade cloth for anybody who's interested. And then we can move on from there. So that is one little project I have for this weekend. And I'm going to wait until the sun has gone overhead. So wait a few hours, because if I'm out here I'm going to burn. My skin is very white and I burn quite easily, so I don't want to be out in the sun for too long. But I will set up the camera sort of here, and I'll fast forward over what I'm doing, and I'll show you how I put the shade cloth on. But once I do that, it will, if you look here compared to the other one, the sun isn't, obviously, because it's not coming straight through the glass, is not as warm or hot, and you can actually see that just by looking. And this is the shade cloth that I got, only went up to here. So this is just a little bit of a fake greenery wall that I've put up to protect. I'll see how long the shade cloth is that I've got for the other thing. I think it's probably going to go the whole way, but you never know, it might just come to here. So if it does, then I will that, but I'm not going to purchase a whole nother big piece of shade cloth for this little amount here. This fiddle leaf fig has been in direct sun since I moved in November, and when I moved in I lopped it. So I cut off the tops of all 3 of the branches, and all of this growth, there was no growth at all of this growth has grown in the past 4 months, which is extraordinary. It's started new little plants from the bottom, but it's also started new plants. So from the bottom there, it's got, you can see the lush growth there. It's also popped in the middle of the, basically these were just sticks. So it's popped in the middle of the sticks, and then of course I've got the mop top kind of tops on all of them. Direct sun, and it is doing very, very well. I have a much larger one inside, which I'll show you later, and it had been an indoor plant, and when I moved here I put it outside for 2 days and it got burnt to buggery. I'm not sure if I can say that, but it's an Australian expression, so I'm going to. It got burnt to buggery, and unfortunately it's taking a while to recover. It also now has new growth on the stems, and there is new growth out the top of it, but it doesn't look as pretty as this one, and it just goes to show that plants are very adaptable. I mean, this plant can obviously live in a shaded indoor environment, and it can also live in a direct sun environment. This plant was actually where that snake plant is for the longest time, and you can see how much sun the snake plant there is getting. So anyway, I shall stop this video for now, and I will talk to you all when the sun has gone over the apartment and this area is nice and clear.